Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains, but trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineered to Win. This is the Coffee and Kata morning show. We're going to review some news stories. We're going to continue working on our mobile testing, try to make some progress with that, and go from there. Right? I have a poll question up in the chat based on our conversation last night, where Mitch and my guy Magnetar17 were saying that interviews are useless, right? We shouldn't need interviews. And I was like, well, so we put a poll, but I was like, you know what? Let me reframe the question. So in the poll this morning, I'm gonna run it throughout the week, tomorrow night, maybe today on our software explorations, and then throughout the weekend on would you, yes, you, Mitch, Magnetar, all you guys, would you hire someone without actually interviewing them? Would you just take their word for it? Would you just read their resume and say, you know what? No interview needed. You are hired, right? So I'm curious. I'm curious to hear from everyone. And you know what? I'll even throw up that poll on the community posts. So I'm just curious to see what you guys are gonna say. All right. So that is the plan. That is goal. Today is Wednesday, December 4th. We're on December 4th already. Can you believe that? It's like the year just started and now it is just about over. So looking forward to it all. Merry Christmas to everyone out there as well. We are right around Christmas. Happy Hanukkah as well to anyone who celebrates Hanukkah. All of that good stuff. All right. So with that being said, we are going to get started in our show today. Like I said, we have our premiere of our intro to cryptography at noon Eastern time today. So you definitely want to tune in. I will be in the chat with you as well. So all that good stuff happening. Okay. All right. We're going to get started with our news for today. So let's get to it. Let's go. News time. All right. So our first article for today. the Intel CEO is stepping down from his position. All right, so let me see if I can get bigger. Let's go with that. So, Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger has retired, the company announced on Monday. Current execs David Zingser and Michelle Johnston, MJ Holthaus, will serve as interim co-CEO until a new chief is named. Gelsinger, who joined Intel in 1979, was forced out. He retired and was forced out at the same time. My goodness. After the board lost confidence in his plan to revive the struggling chip maker. Struggling is an understatement. Bloomberg reports, citing anonymous sources. Intel has faced intense headwinds of late, notching a record net loss of nearly $17 billion last quarter and losing its place on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Its stock is down more than 50% this year.
Bruh.
Good Lord, that's a lot of money. Jesus. They're down bad. Intel is down bad. So, do you guys think that Intel can actually recover from this? I think it might be over for Intel. I think it might be over for Intel at this point. I remember back in the days when Intel, having that Intel Pentium chip in your computer, even if it was a Celeron, right? Even if it was a Celeron, people were all with it. But now it might just be time to call it a day, call it a night for Intel, because when you're down 17 billion, right? And they forced the CEO to retire. I mean, they kind of fired him, but they let him retire. But it's over. It's over. So I don't know. Intel seems to be down bad. All right. Intel
Okay, let's move on.
All right, let's go to our next article for today. SpaceX eyes $350 billion valuation. So we just read that Intel was down 17 billion in last year, but SpaceX eyes a $350 billion valuation. So SpaceX is in talks to sell insider shares that would lift its valuation to around 350 billion, Bloomberg reports, citing anonymous sources. That's a big jump from a previously expected valuation a month ago of around 255 billion, and about double what it was selling shares for a year ago. It would also put its value on par with some of the world's biggest publicly traded companies. Employees and some early shareholders of Elon Musk's rocket and satellite company would be able to sell shares via the tender offer, which have come up regularly. So, looks like so SpaceX is not a public company apparently. Is that what I'm reading? Let me see. Let's go to Google. And is SpaceX a public company? And SpaceX now stands as the most valuable private startup on the planet with a $350 billion total net worth based on a proposed private sale of company stock, according to Bloomberg. So SpaceX is a privately held company, so anyone can just go and invest in it. So whoever invested as a private investor early in SpaceX, now they are rolling in the dough. What's the word that they use? Unrealized dough. They're rolling in the unrealized dough. But more power to them. More power to them. Shout out to whoever invested in SpaceX early, because if you've ever heard some of Elon Musk stories about what he had to do to get his companies to where they are today, it seems like he worked his butt off. All right. So I'm just saying. But
Okay, let's move on.
moving on to the next article is not so good news for Mr. Elon Musk. So let's get to it. This one says, a judge blocks Musk $56 billion Tesla pay. And we actually covered this before, but there's an update. Maybe there's an update to it. So a Delaware judge once again rejected Tesla's attempt to instate a $56 billion pay package for boss Elon Musk, reaffirming her earlier decision that the compensation plan was improperly awarded. Judge Kathleen McCormick had ruled in January that the 2018 approval of Musk's pay package lacked transparency, leading Tesla shareholders to vote a second time at a meeting this summer. So the Tesla shareholders continue to vote to say pay the man his damn money, and this one lone judge keeps saying no, no. I have absolutely nothing to do with Tesla. I have nothing to do with Elon Musk except I want to make his life miserable, right? So Tesla keeps trying to pay the man, and the judge keeps trying to say, nope, you will not get paid. So, all right. So, but McCormick was unswayed, ruling Monday that Tesla's directors were beholden to the CEO and capitulated to. Where's the word? Where is the wealth building journey when I need them? I just said capitulated. I almost said it totally wrong, and I was like, you know what? I know this word, capitulated. So where's the wealth building journey when I need them, right? To Musk's terms in awarding the payday. So pretty much, this judge is saying that what you guys agreed to pay him back in 2018, when he went without a salary for about 5 years, it lacked transparency. So now the board said, okay, we voted again to pay the man, and the judge is saying, well, you guys are beholden to him after he delivered on his promises in the past 5 years when he didn't take a salary. And now you're just capitulating to his terms and awarding the payday. Jesus.
Let's move on.
Tesla can still appeal the ruling. Meanwhile, Tesla's China sales dropped in November amid heightened local competition, BYD and the sorts. So I don't know. This is so weird. This is so weird. It's like this judge. I'm telling you, this judge. And it makes you wonder, like, when you start a business, right? And or you take over as CEO of a business, you do your negotiations with your shareholders and all that type of stuff, and then some random rogue judge comes and tries to like pretty much say, oh, actually no, you don't. You're not the CEO. I'm the CEO. Says, look at me, look at you, look at me, look at you. I'm the captain now. That's what the judge is saying. The judge is saying that I'm the captain now. Okay, Mrs. Judge Kathleen McCormick, why don't you just go and lead Tesla? Because Musk shows up every day doing what he has to do, and you're just saying, well, you know what? You're going to continue. You're going to continue to work for free. Anyways, well, okay, Judge, what would you agree to? What would be a fair wage for you? Probably 40,000. Probably 40,000. See, when these elected people, they just playing with people's money, that's where I draw the line. That is where I draw the line in the sand. All right. Anyways, let's continue on with our next story before I go out on a tangent. The next story up is Bezos funds AI chip rival to NVIDIA. So Jeff Bezos is getting into the mix of the AI chips, right? So Tenstorrent, I never heard of them before, an artificial intelligence chip startup aiming to compete with NVIDIA, raised $700 million in funding from investors, including Jeff Bezos and Samsung, giving its valuation about $2.6 billion. Oh, that's cute. That is cute. I mean, they're a startup. They're trying. Will they be able to actually compete with NVIDIA? Only time will tell. Because when NVIDIA started getting out there, NVIDIA, AMD, those type of companies, they were like, these companies will never, ever, ever be able to compete with Intel. And now we just read that Intel is down bad. Intel is screaming out,
I'm in a bind, Nate.
It is what it is. It is what it is, right? So maybe in the future, I mean, as of right now, it doesn't seem like it's something that's so strong, but it is possible. It is definitely possible because, slow and steady wins the race, as they like to say. And how some companies will just like adopt some weird policies and now they just start going down the drain. So the financing will be used to grow Tenstorrent engineering team, bolster its supply chain, and develop its AI training infrastructure. The Silicon Valley company is part of a group of startups working to challenge NVIDIA's dominance in the AI chip-making space. Tenstorrent plans a more affordable path to AI development than its larger competitors, CEO Jim Keller told Bloomberg. LG Electronics and Fidelity also participated in the funding. So, this is actually good, though. This is good. Why is this good? Because this actually protects NVIDIA from the claims of being a monopoly, and then they end up showing. Although there are a lot of other search engines out there
Okay, let's move on.
that create themselves to try to compete with Google, but it does all right. Well, there's more competition. We're gonna try to offer something better, and the chips fall where they may. No pun intended, although it is intended. All right. But yeah, I'm happy to see this. I love competition. I love innovation, and as they work on their thing, as they work on their things, it should trigger Nvidia prices to also drop as more competition hits the market. What people don't understand is the less competition, the higher their prices are going to go. Look at colleges, look at whatever is federally funded and supported, healthcare, the prices keep going up, while the private sector prices, they generally continue to go down. So if you want lower prices, keep the government out of your lives. All right, let's continue on with our next story for today. So, job reports to hold clue to the economy. While a replay of last month's job reports, when a paltry 12,000, yes, remember that last month, a month ago, 12,000 non-farm payrolls were added, is not expected on Friday. Questions remain about the strength of the labor market. Two hurricanes, are we still blaming the hurricane? Two hurricanes and a massive Boeing strike impacted October's report, allegedly, right? Or they just sucked at getting the economy moving, but it's unclear by how much. November payrolls are forecast to rise by 200,000, a survey of economists showed, and the unemployment rate will likely be unchanged at 4.1%. A weaker result could increase the chances of an interest rate cut when the Federal Reserve sets rates next week. All right. And we have one last story for today, but we're going to be looking towards look who just showed up. Look who just showed up. What's up, Mitch? How you doing, Mitch? And the perfect timing, Mitch, because we're going to be reviewing the job numbers this weekend on the Men Lie, Women Lie Numbers Manipulate show, hosted by me, Mitch, and Yakar in the chat. But and Mitch also said, I'm gonna address that next comment afterwards. We have one more story for today. Let's go over to our next one and our last one. Amazon plans AI supercomputer. A supercomputer? Get ready for the Ultra Cluster. Amazon Web Services' newest project is a huge AI supercomputer composed of hundreds of thousands of its own Trainium chips called Project Rainer. It's expected to be ready in 2025. It'll be used by AI startup Anthropic, I think I've heard of them before, in which Amazon recently invested another $4 billion into them, right? The tech behemoth has been working to make its chips competitive with offerings from the market leader NVIDIA and announced it will begin supplying Apple with chips. Also, on Tuesday at its reInvent conference, AWS unveiled its new Nova family of generative AI models. So, with that being said, more competition for NVIDIA. I love it. I am in total favor of competition. And, like I said earlier, let the chips fall where they may. If AWS is building out the supercomputer, I wonder who's going. I guess Anthropic is going to have access to it. I wonder if it's going to be like not accessible to the public yet, because as they work on it and as they have Anthropic use it. But that is super cool. I love to see all this innovation, and it also gives more people opportunities to work in these different fields. I think I said this on the show, on the Candid Conversation yesterday. People always think like, oh, this is going to replace a particular field, software engineering, QA, etc. But the more innovation that we have, the more creativity and the more ideas that people can put forward. And now when more companies are being started, so when you might have one company hiring 100 QA manual QA testers, now you can have 100 companies all hiring 1 to 2 QA testers who use AI, who use automation. hiring software engineers. So it does bring a lot more opportunity when we embrace innovation instead of wanting to stay exactly the same and do the same thing that we've always done, and we continue to be stuck in our ways and fail. Right. Let's continue on to the next one. All right, we're done with that for today. And my bestie in the chat. Let me turn this thing off real quick. Let's go here. So my bestie in the chat, my guy Mitch, he says that that poll makes zero sense. I think that poll makes great sense, Mitch, because you guys said yesterday that interviews are not necessary, right? If I remember correctly, interviews are not necessary, right? So, ergo, would you, Mitch, hire somebody without ever interviewing them? Let's say you had your own business. Let's call it the greatest data analytics crew in the world with the one and the only Mitch. That's the name of your LLC, right? The greatest data analyst crew with Mitch, and Mitch, right? And now you need to hire somebody. That. So what did you say? What did you say? Because I remember you and Magnetar were in lockstep. So if they're pointless, then why do them, Mitch? If the interviews are pointless, then why interview in the first place, right? Says they said they are pointless. So if they are pointless, why even bother interviewing? Would you hire somebody? Why would you go through a pointless process if you had your company? Right, Mitch? So if it's pointless, then would you hire someone without ever interviewing them? That is that's why that question makes very, very much sense. Of course, you got to talk to people. Talking to people is anytime you have a conversation with a person, that is an interview. That's an interview. Simple as that. So yeah, Mitch, you might want to hold this L, Mitch. You might want to hold this L because I am right and you are wrong. But feel free to answer the poll. If it makes total sense to me. If something is pointless, then why do it? What is a full blown interview? What is a full blown interview? All right. I didn't word it wrong. It's pointless, so why do it? It's pointless, then why do it? So I think it makes perfect sense. So I think you're wrong. I think you're unhappy because you see the error in your logic, which it's my job to point it out. It is my job to point it out.
Bruh.
All right. Anyways, we are going to continue with the show. I answered it. I said no. I know you said because you don't have a choice on that one. Like it's like you're kind of boxed in. Your logic forced you to answer no. All right, let's continue on with the show. Let's go to doing a little bit. Let's continue with our testing. So, we are here. We have all right. So, what we were doing last time is we were trying to get this one test to work, and it was not working. We need to mess with it a little bit more. Where the issue that's happening is that last step, it's not actually calculating, well, not the last step, but it's not calculating our time over, let me see where that would be. It's not getting this part right here. So we could spend the whole 20 minutes working on that. However, what we can do instead is we can continue pushing our other tests forward. Let me close all these things down. Let's continue by making headway on our other test, so then we can come back and just work on this one test later on. But there are some tests that are working that we can advance. So let's take a look at. So this one is evaluate ability to input hours and minutes into increments input field. Did we do this one? Let me see. So let's take this one. Let's take that and let me test some of these out to make sure that they're working. I'm gonna run this one. Make sure this, all right, so that one works. Let's continue. Make sure all of these work. And then if that works, then we're going to move on to doing it for the minutes field. Because we did the hours increment, we did the hours decrement. Now we would just need to do the same thing for the minutes. So we'll do the minutes increment and the minutes decrement. If I can find where. And good morning, Alexis. How are you doing? Alexis, please correct me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong? But was not Mitch and Magnetar advocating that if interviews are pointless, Alexis, then why even bother doing an interview, right? If it's pointless, then why do them? So now the whole question is, would you? So you have Raw Juice and Herbs LLC, and let's say you're growing. Let's say your small business is growing. Would you hire somebody without ever interviewing them? That's my question. It's my question. All right. So that's working as well. All right. So next up on the list, we're going to let me close this down. Let's close that. So Mitch, all right, let me. Okay, what is a full blown interview, Mitch? Let's start. What is a full blown interview, right? Let me copy this right here, and I'm gonna move this over here, and we're going to say validate the ability on the minutes spent field. What is a full-blown interview? Like, are you saying a full-blown interview when multiple people interview the person? Is that like a panel interview is useless? So we have this, we have that, and total hours spent on activity. So this is going to be total minutes spent on activity, minutes. Oh, so we already have a total minutes in there. Let's take that. So we can take this one off. And we will say, scroll until total minutes is available and pump and settle. And then find the, see, this one's going to be tricky because this is going to go for the hours one. We don't want that on the hours. We want this on the, do we have a second maybe? I guess we could try last. But this is so bad to do it this way. I'll see if there's a better way to do it later on. But we'll see. Let's see. Let's see. We have this. All right, so input total minutes, and I want to, all right, so we should have 1 in the minutes field. And then if we were, let me clear this out. And if we say 100,000 and we say 1 here, so it should be 19 cents over here. But we should also have a validation for that over here too, but I'll get that after. Let's say we do 19 total minutes, and we do second, or not second, but last, which is a terrible thing to do, but okay. Input minutes, and I guess it should be 36, 38. All right, and we're gonna say tags. All right, let me run this to see what happens. And look at that. Look at that. That passes. However, I just we should add the validation for the cost of activity as well. So let's go to activity time cost. Where is that? Should be the 209. I wish there was a way that you could actually see all the tests here. Structure, maybe? All right, there we go. Oh, that's much better. So we can see the structure over here. Let's go to validate state changes when it returns, validate input hours. So I think this is the one that was failing earlier. That's still failing, actually. And if we copy this part right here and we go to this one and we say, not only are we validating the money spent, we're also calculating this one, and this should also be $0.38 or 19 on this one. And we're gonna copy that again. And we're going to say $38. We're gonna call that 2, 2, 2. Oh, I don't need this one. And there's gonna be 2 as well. There's gonna be 2 as well. I'm gonna move that above this. And let's run it. And we're still good to go. We are still good to go. Things are working. All right. Now let's take care of the decrement. I'm really unhappy with having to do the last. I need to find a better way to do this. I need to find a way to associate the icon to the element, because find by icon, there can be like, what if we end up having multiple of these increment decrement buttons? We're not going to be able to do last, but for now we can leave our test that way, although I am very, very unhappy about it. But I do have standards, right? So it might be low, but they're still standards, all right? So now we're going to do the decrement button. I'm going to copy this one. And we're going to minimize that. And we're going to go over here. And we're going to paste that one. And we're going to say, validate the ability to use the decrement button on the minutes spent field. And we're going to say, we're entering total hours spent. So we're going to do enter. So instead of total hours spent, we're going to say total minutes spent. We're going to have to do a couple of tests for this, right? We're going to have to do a negative test as well as a positive test, or not a positive test. We're going to have to do 3 tests. 4 tests. Boundary test. We're going to do boundary tests, right? So let's, because you can have like pretty much as many hours as you want, although you can't do negatives. So we might have to do a negative test for hours. But what happens though if we try to do, it might be better suited on another. So for this, all right, so for this test, this is like, we're not doing the boundaries test, but I'm wondering, like, what if you try to do like a negative? So if you type in negative, it's automatically gonna, all right, so here, if you type in negative, it's all, but if we go to 50, if we go to 60, we get an error. So cool, that's good. So we can validate that error later on, but we're gonna do that on a separate test, but this should be good for now. So total minutes spent on activity. And we are going to say total minutes, total minutes. And we're going to say total minutes. And we're going to, so let me just copy this over. There's going to be total minutes. Total minutes. And we should have 10, okay. And then if we were to say 10, should be 190, all right. $190. And then we continue. All right, so this is going to be arrow down first, no, second, or last, I should say. Keeps wanting to say second. All right, last. And then this is going to be minutes. And that should be, so after you decrement, it should be 9. And then this should be, if we go here, we go down 171. 171 what? 170, oh, just $1.71. 1.71. And then we do another decrement. So that should be 8 after the second decrement, and it would be 152. Okay, and let's add our tags and WIP. And I do want to copy from the other test where we did the, let's take this off. Let's go here, and I just want to copy activity time costs. Go here. I might keep copying that. All right. Let's go here. And we have cost of activity, and that should be $190. And okay, let's copy. Let's copy that again. Let's copy that again. And we go down to let's do 1, 1, 1, 1. And that should be 171. And we copy that one more time. Two, 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 two. And that would be 152. All right, let's see how this runs. Nice, 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 nice. Awesome. Well, that is, we're going to stop with that today. And then, so now we have all of our increment and decrement tests going. We have to fix this other test where we reset the calculator. And although everything goes back to 0, something is being stored in there when we go to 100,000. It's still putting, so there's something in here. Probably the minutes isn't really resetting, but we will fix that and finish up our other tests. Let me just do a quick run of all the tests before we get out of here. Edit configuration. If I was to remove this tag and I said okay, and we ran everything, how many pass, how many fail? So we have a good amount failing. So we have to also go through, it's like reset calculator. So, all right, so this is minor. Figure this one out, probably because of the inputs. So all of these are related to the same type of issue that we're having on the other one, but we'll figure that out though. Yeah, if you look at all the tests that are failing, it's that one failing one that's causing all the issues, or not the one failing, but the reason that it's failing is causing all the issues. So once we fix that, it should fix a majority of our tests. So this one's probably not even necessary, but yeah. So that is about it. We are going to go back to full screen. We'll pick it up on Monday. So I want to check the chat real quick before we get out of here, and let me check my poll results. All right. 100% of people said they would not hire somebody without interviewing them. What? What's wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you guys? So let me check the chat real quick. Alexa's on her way to Pilates. Oh, look at that. And Mitch says, what I said was, there are people that interview good and horrible at the job, while other people are nervous and anxiety. But if they get the job, 9 out of 10 times, they do way better than the person. I mean, I don't think you can say that, because you have no actual. You can't quantify that. You have no stats. There are no stats to back that up, right? You might be right, but you can't. There's no way to prove that. Number two is, I would say that if that's how simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B. If that's how the game goes, then you have to learn how to play the game. And if you need to, like, instead of crying and whining and moaning, about, oh, well, I get nervous and I get anxious. How about you work on that? And how about you come and do a mock interview so we can get all those bugs and all that nervousness out? Look, if I can go, like I was saying yesterday, if I can go and have people try to kill me in front of like and it's streamed live to I mean kind of the world, then by all means you can handle a little interview, all right? Um, Alexis had said interviews have in recent times gotten out of hand. I'm hearing four to five rounds panels. So here's the next question, Alexis, for you in particular. If you were running a multi-million dollar company, Raw Juice and Herbs LLC, and you are looking for a director, right? A director, not a like you're looking to pay 250K a year, maybe even more, right? Let's say director of marketing and communications or IT or something like that, right? Um, every time I step on the mat, someone's trying to kill me, Alexis. but but um, but if if you're looking to pay $250,000 a year, right? Not $50,000 a year. Are you going to have more rounds for that more important, higher paying role, or 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 are you gonna like, oh, you know what? One interview, one and done. You're good to go. We just need to see your face. Make sure that you're a human. And you said that you've ran multi-million dollar companies before, so good to go. Let's get it. If you're looking to pay somebody a lot of money to do a job, don't you want to be sure, like have them meet everyone? So you might have to have a panel interview. You might have to have a few rounds. Versus if you're looking to pay someone 50K, like maybe I have like one round and we're good to go. Maybe we have two rounds. We're good to go. Um, let's see. But we definitely need at least one. Well, you see, and this is the problem, right? When you're new to a field, of course you might go like for entry level role, you might get one or two rounds, but but as you get higher up there, you have to prove yourself. You have to show that you know what you're talking about. Let's see. I can say that you just did. I just did what? I just did what? Says nobody try to get. Mitch says them interviews. I'm just saying. Anyways, we're gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mitch says people used to pay people to do. When? When was this? When was this? I remember they used to pay people to train. Like you get hired and then you go to training. And I'm pretty sure they still pay people to train. But to pay people to come and interview? Are you kidding me? I have never heard of that before, Mitch. I have never heard of that before, that people used to pay people to interview. Um, I know some companies will fly you out for like to interview at headquarters and stuff like that, but people paying you to interview? Come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Now, Mitch, who is the real gaslighter? Who is the? All right, so you're going to be comparing when companies had all that PPP money to waste, of course, and your job stackers out there. See cameras. You see, they were taking anybody. They had to spend that PPP money, all right? So, anyways, we're gonna get out of here. Let's see. Alexis, you enjoy your class. Have fun. And we will talk later. Have a great day. I'm out of here as well. Mitch, thank you so much for tuning in. The show would not be the show without you. Let me go ahead and end the poll. And I'm gonna add it to our noon show and our tomorrow night show, because if it's pointless, then why should we do them? And if you would not, why would you participate in something so pointless if you were a hiring manager or if you had your own business? So that's what we're gonna ask, right? Would you do it? And I mean the answer has to be no, but I have to make the question legitimate, because you wouldn't do it for your own business. Why do you expect somebody to do it for their business? All right. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Tech Coach Ralph with another episode of Coffee and Kata in the morning. And thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Mitch, for hanging out. Thank you, everybody who is watching from the clouds. You guys have an amazing, amazing day. This is Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains, but trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
You said dreams are dusty, babe, just like my shoes. Laughed in my face, now I sing the blues. 2 years gone by, but love's still confused. Moved in last week, but did I just lose? You call me a joke while I hold your hand. Invest in my dreams, but you don't understand. Chasing the stars while I'm still here standing. Can't see the goal for your own demands. Dusty dreams in a cardboard box, built by hope and its ticking clocks. Believe in me like I believe in you. Dusty dreams might just come true. Sleepless nights and my mind keeps racing. Heart beats fast in this dream I'm chasing. Both of us stuck in this, what are we facing? Is love enough when trust is erasing? Dusty dreams in a cardboard box, built by hope and its ticking clocks. Believe in me like I believe in you. Dusty dreams might just come true. Lend me your faith, not just your pity. In this big world or in this big city, hand in hand we can build something pretty. Believe in each other, it's more than just witty. Dusty dreams in a cardboard box, built by hope and its ticking clocks. Believe in me like I believe in you. Dusty dreams might just come true. Lend me your faith, not just your pity. In this big world, or in this big city, hand in hand we can build something pretty. Believe in each other, it's more than just witty.